stunner. Game plan sick, talking under the weather. You know what we doing? I need that all expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. About money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Kerry. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything mooey, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Baskin Robbins shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart scot-free. Lottie-dottie. He like to patty. Fuck with blow shoot, trolling 5 Molly. Heard I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips, moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over, made it far cause I'm sharp, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke then you can't talk. Play a never-ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all pussies getting scraped pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, trapeze. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, my no hands telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.
Afternoon, y'all. Welcome to episode 25 of the Chargers Power Hour, and happy spring and happy Friday, y'all. Actually, JD, you want to hit that wonderful drop? That's right. Head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. Take full advantage of the sale that's going on. 40% off and $13.95 tees. It's not a thing you won't find over there. And I got repping it right now. Head on over there and get your Lightning Lad t-shirts, and you're going to find something over there. Trust me, if it's from custom t-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, drinkware, pillows, framed artwork. Seriously, if you can't wear it, you can't drink it, or it's not on your wall, Peacock or no other artist is designed it besides Peacock. His stuff is amazing, great fits, great things in general. His custom work is amazing. So head on over there, take a look. Not just that, just support Peacock, support the channel, but just get some great gear in general, head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. And I believe the sale ends the 26th, if I'm correct. That's what I was told last. But again, welcome to episode 25 of the Chargers Power. Let me shout out the chat. Shout out Derek. What's up, buddy? Hey, Peacock. Hey, the man himself, the artist. Safe travels home, buddy. Hey, what's up, Tim? Welcome. Hey, Tim. Hey, thanks for subbing up. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Well. I got a good show for you. I hope it's going to be a good one. Well, episode 25. It's going to be about free agency, recap, and roster direction. So that's what I got to put the title on today this week. So welcome to Chargers Power episode 25. I can't believe it. It's going to be a fun one, man. I'm your host, Lee. I'm the ear to the streets on our channel, but I'm also the host of the show, and I appreciate all who watch it. Well, week 2 of the NFL free agency is in the books, and week 1 was fun. Nothing big than that. Just all the small stuff, you know. Alrighty. Okay. Today on the show, we're going to break down the Chargers' second wave of free agency, the shift towards more physical offensive identity, the rebuild of the offensive line, sneaky under-the-radar additions, the running back room of 2026. I love it. The tight end group and scheme fit, the draft watch at pick number 22, and the big question, are the Chargers finally building the right team around Justin Herbert? So let's get into it. Let's go. All righty. So, JD, you want to pop that? Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, week 2 is here, is in the books, but the real roster rebuild phrase is here. Week 1 of free agency, it was kind of chaotic a little bit for other teams. For us, it was kind of When the biggest contracts get signed, the headlines dominate. It was. But week 2, that's where the smart organizations quietly build their rosters. Well, value veterans, scheme fits, depth pieces, and competition at key positions. Well, I'm going to tell you, yes, we have Mike McDaniels as our new OC, but mainly our signings so far in free have been scheme fits. I've seen many Chargers fans in groups saying, oh, man, we're not making this big splash. It really hasn't been about a splash. It's been about the scheme fits of the offense for Mike McDaniel for this 1 year. I know a lot of people. I would have liked the big name here and there, don't get me wrong. But what we're doing, we're adding these small additions and that fits the Mike McDaniel. I'm calling it the 1 year fit because I feel he's only here for a year. That's, so what's up, Tim? Again, welcome. Salute, Derek. Mimi, hello. Well, hello. And what's the most exciting? To me, the OC news is the big news. I mean, that was the highlight of the offseason was the Mike McDaniels hire. But then again, have I been impressed right now? As a Chargers fan, we all want the big splash, the big names. I remember telling last week, I wanted Wyatt Teller. I wanted the San Francisco Garden. Those things all, but what I want don't happen. What our teams want, it's like on Christmas. We all want that, but do we always get it? Not really. But, I'll get to that a little down the road. But, these are huge moves that might not generate huge headlines, but often become the difference in a playoff roster and also a contender. For the Los Angeles Chargers, the second wave of free agency is clearly focused on priority needs, building the right roster around Justin Herbert. I mean, for years, the conversation around Herbert has been the same. He's been one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL, but the team around him hasn't always been the way it should. Well, between injuries, inconsistent protection, and roster turnover, Herbert has had to do more than most quarterbacks. I mean, this offseason looks like a shift. Hopefully, the Chargers appear focused on, if you're a good OC, you don't stay on the OC. Nope, exactly. Peacock, we're going to see what he does this year. And possibly, if he does, he's got a great offense to work with. he's probably going to prove, hey, this is what I can do. He'll probably get a job next year. Kudos for the 1-year rental of Mike McDaniel. But, let's see. But to me, this season looks like a shift. The Chargers are focused on improving the run game. And I'm going to get to that. Strengthening the offensive line, which has been a priority. I've stressed this numerous week in, week out. Offensive line protection, nonstop. Also adding veteran leadership. Increasing more balance offensively also. And that's exactly what good teams do and what they have to do for a franchise quarterback. And that's what we have. And that's about protecting our franchise quarterback. So the Chargers free agents, I'm going to spotlight one player who we did pick up in the second wave of free agency, and that was Dalvin Tomlinson signing. One of the most important and honestly underrated signings, moves. JD, I'll take that one. Signings was one of the more important and honestly underrated. I mean, Dalvin Tomlinson, who played for the Arizona Cardinals. This wasn't a flashy signing, I'd say. This was basically a football move. His contract breakdown was this. Let's start off with the numbers. He got a 1-year deal, $17.5 million total value, $6 million guaranteed. I mean, this is, to me, I call this a low risk, high upside deal. I mean, to me, short-term commitment, high guarantees, but his flexibility, if it doesn't work out, that's about it. But his availability is amazing. This man's played 142 games. And he's played all 142. So our main, every single year has been injuries. We never have that availability. But we have something now on the defensive line in Thompson. I don't know too much. I know he had decent, let's see what he, like, I mean, I think for the Chargers, Molly, this is like a classic prove it contract, targeting players in this range. He's cheap. What we've been doing is getting players that fit the scheme. But what Tomlinson brings to the Chargers, career totals, 368 total tackles, 20 sacks, and 142 games played in 142 starts. As I just said a moment ago, it's about availability, something that the Chargers never really have, always getting hurt players. So we have a reliable, I don't know if he's going to be a starter or whatnot, but what he is. But to me, that last stat matters a lot, is the availability. And that's something we needed. And, hey, we'll see how this works. He's durable. He's reliable. I think that's the key word right there. He's reliable. And he's not hurt that much, but it's knock on wood. And he's experienced. And a defensive line that needs stability inside, that was a huge signing, I felt. I mean, we saw 2 more guards off the market, but Wyatt Teller signed with the Texans, who signed for 2 years, $16 million, which can be up to $23 million with incentives, I believe. I know it was $16 million, but I read it was 23 with incentives or player incentives. And then Spencer Burford signed with the Vegas Raiders. Raiders. I didn't say Raiders. I said Raiders. Oh, well. But the good news is they both weren't good options, and they both weren't scheme fits. I think what we're doing is we're signing, as I said earlier, to the Mike McDaniel scheme. That's what we're doing, these 1-year, 2-year deals, deals that we can get out of in time also. So Chef Ortiz is cooking up something, but there's quite a bit of cap space left. So to me, is he cooking up something, or is he planning a trade or something else? So we don't know what he's going to do with that money. I mean, we got I think it's about $52 million left. It's one of the top teams up there. But there's a few available names. I mean, I like Joe Bonito, PFF rating of a 23 out of 81 at left guard. And they got Kevin Zeitler, PFF rating of 13 of 81 at right guard. But would be pretty amazing if you can get both, but both are still free agents as of Wednesday when I wrote this. And guard is, as I said the other day, last show, is a need right now. We need guard. And so now, JD, you want to pull up that free agency edition picture? Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of money left. So, I know we need I think you need that's something like $12 million for your signings, for your draft picks or something like that. I think it's 6 to 12 I read, but we do have a lot of money. So now, yes, these are all the additions that we've added. Now, as I said on this beginning of the show, it's a clear identity shift of a physical run game. One of the biggest themes emerging this offseason for the Chargers is committing a more physical offensive identity. The three signings in particular that highlighted this shift for me was Tyler Biadasz. I finally can say the word with no problem. Yes, Tyler Biadasz, the center, Alex Ingold, fullback, and Charlie Kolar, the tight end. So those are the three signings that have stood out to me. We badly needed a center, and Biadasz is going to be a huge help for our offensive line. And as I said, he is technically the quarterback of the offensive line. So he's going to be doing all that stuff, running the show. So, and Alex Ingold is a great fullback, and just, he's going to help the run game and help Omari and Hampton ecstatically. And Keaton Mitchell also. I think, as I said, this running room has gotten better, as mentioned in the last show. And Charlie Kolar is a great blocking tight end. So, it's going to, these are not really flashy signings, as they say, as most teams have been doing in free agency, signing big names and for big money. But these are extremely important in the Chargers, what they want the team to become, and it controls the game physically. This signals a move toward power running concepts, outside zone blocking, heavier formation pause, and more play action. I mentioned that a few shows ago, the more play action. I'd like to see more of that. And this is a huge benefit also for Justin Herbert. When a team can run the football effectively, it forces defenses to respect the run more. And it opens up play action opportunities and slows down the pass rushers. And when that happens, quarterbacks thrive, and Justin Herbert's a quarterback that can, if he's protected, can thrive. And hopefully he thrives in an offense under Mike McDaniels. I'm hoping so. And we're going to see what's going to happen. But, we still got the draft to go. We still got a lot to do, which leads to an interesting discussion point. Are the Chargers starting to resemble the AFC version of the San Francisco 49ers offense? I do not know. I don't really know too much about the 49ers offense, but we do have the correlation. McDaniels was in that Shanahan tree. So we possibly are going to take a little bit. Okay, 420 radio. A question. If Jeremiah Love is a top 10 pick, what percentage of the linemen over 325 pounds do you think will be drafted between rounds 5 and 7 in the AFC teams between Mississippi? I don't know. I'm so focused right now. What's up, Commish? Hey, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Hey, 420 on that question. I just took me off guard, but hey, I'm gonna have to pass on that one for now. Sorry about that. But no, as I said, if I had knew this about the 49ers offense, but the only correlation to McDaniels is he was in the Shanahan offense. Because when you look at the pieces being added, the philosophy feels similar to what the 49ers would do. Now, as I said, I don't know too much about what the 49ers do, but I do take away some things from what JD, Bogey do say about the 49ers and how they build their offense. But then again, when they build an offense, they do build a great offense. So, hey, if it's anything like the 49ers offense, hey, that's great. I hope it is like that, because when the 49ers run an offense, if you look what they've done, they're a consistent team year in, year out. They always, knock on wood, are a competitive team. So, hey, if we get anything like that, I'm all for it. But that's all I'm going to say about the 49ers for now, that. But, no, because, now, JD, you want to pull up that sneaky signing picture? All right. I'm going to call this a sneaky signing. Yes, I know we have a Marion Hampton, but one of the most interesting additions that hasn't gotten enough attention. Yeah, so one of the most is the addition of Keaton Mitchell. He came over from the Ravens. He was injured. He has had an injury-plagued career. Okay, don't get me wrong. That's something I do remember. But he did play quite well last year. One of the additions, Mitchell brings something every offense needs: pure speed. So we don't just have two burners on our offense, on our running back room. I love it. We got to start off with Amari and Hampton. We're now going to have Vidal as the number 2 back and Keaton Mitchell as number 3. So to me, we have a hell of a running back room. And if knock on wood, if Amari and Hampton can stay healthy, that's a blessing. I'm gonna hopefully. I mean, so seriously, I know the Chargers have always with the Chargers curse. As Kiddo would tell me, there's always a Chargers curse. And in the past 5 years, it's been injuries, and I'm trying to stay away from that. And that's something. But the running back room is pretty stacked. Pause. And I like that. I mean, we have a really decent running back room. So it's not like the running back room is like we don't. If hypothetically something happens to Hampton, do we have a back that can be able to take over? Yes, we do. We have Vidal, who did a fantastic job last year, and now we have Keaton Mitchell. This is going to be a hell of a tandem, but yeah, Hampton's running the show. But I mean, Mitchell, what he brings is pure speed. He's the type of player who can change the game with a single touch. I've seen on highlights from him what he had when he hits the space. It's bye-bye, and that's gonna be nice. I mean, why is this signing intriguing to me? He has elite acceleration. That's one thing I loved was his speed. We saw that with the Ravens. He gets out, he's gone. I mean, his explosive playability is going to be wonderful in the Mike McDaniel offense. And also he's a perfect change of pace back also. And also depth insurance at running back is crucial. We now have 3 capable running backs. And that's something that as I said, we haven't had that in a long time. I can't recall when we've had 3 great running backs that can say they're starters, or they can just plug and play. They just go out there and just do their thing. So that's going to be a huge. I mean, Mitchell also has averaged over 6 yards per carry in his career, which tells you everything you need to know about his ability to create big plays. If the Chargers use him correctly, he could become one of those players defenses constantly have to account for, besides Amari and Hampton. And we know what Mike McDaniels does, and he can trick plays. It's going to be fun. I mean, now that we have an offensive coordinator that likes to do all these, this is going to be fun. We have running backs do this, change it up. It's going to be fun. It's going to keep the defense on their toes. Who do you account for? Is it Hampton? Is it going to be Mitchell? Or is it who knows? It's going to be fun. The Chargers, and that leads to a fun question for the NFL. Could Keaton Mitchell become the Chargers' breakout player in 26? Do I know? No, I think for me, in the breakout this year, it's going to be Hampton and it's going to be Gadsden. Those are my 2 players I really think have a breakout year. And I also see Ladd McConkey. Those are the 3 players I'm going to say: Hampton, Ladd, and Gadsden. And I think Gadsden, in this offense, he showed what he could do last year. I think he had around 630 some odd yards last year. Just think what Mike McDaniels can uncork him. And I think what you saw last year, that talent is going to be uncorked and going to go to a different level this year. And I really hope Gadsden thrives in this offense. It's going to be wonderful. And again, we got, it's looking good. I mean, I like the signings, but I mean, the Chargers also signed Keaton Mitchell to 2 years. So basically it's probably a 1-year deal. One and out. That's what I look at. It depends on that. Chalk. His 2-year, $9.25 million worth. He got $3.75 in the signing bonus, and he got $5 million fully guaranteed. And his salaries are $1.25 million this year, and then $3.25 million next year. Now Peacock just said Keenan Allen needs to go away for that lot. Yes, Peacock. Now, hey, I mentioned on the show this morning, the Chargers are saying they would like, in quotes, to bring back Keenan Allen back. We shall see what happens. I know there's a lot of Chargers fans that love Keenan, but for me, I love Keenan for what he's done for the Chargers, but I would like to see KLS, and I'd like to see Trey Harris develop more in this offense and see what we have. We did put a 2nd-round pick last year on Trey Harris, so I really want to see what he can do. I know with Keenan back, it's a veteran presence on the offense, but to me, it's also taking away the targets from seeing what KLS and Trey Harris have. So I have mixed feelings on Keenan coming back. I know a lot of Chargers fans love what he's done. I guess to me, yeah, he's a great presence of the veteran presence to help the youngsters, but I really want to see these youngsters flourish and more. But we shall see what happens. I mean, on that, but I'm gonna say as I said, we're rebuilding the offensive line. One of the most important priorities this offseason, how was rebuilding our offensive line? Our offensive line last year was straight trash. And I'm going to say it again and again. We couldn't protect Justin Herbert for the life of God last year. And you can clip that. We could not protect Justin Herbert. And as JD knows, he's backstage, I would tell week in, week out, Justin Herbert was hit 9 times. It was week in, week out. I couldn't keep track. It was, I was waiting for 1 week to say, when is Justin Herbert going to be hurt? Because that offense was straight trash. But the Chargers are honestly this year are making the offensive line a priority. With the key additions and moves included Tyler Biadasz at center. We got a good deal. Injuries line. Yeah. Peacock, the injuries last year, we had no Rashawn Slater, who was out for the year. Then we had no Joel. So we're going to have our left tackle back and right tackle back. That's going to be that's like having a huge break, having both of our starters back. So, and you had Biadasz, and then you had our other, Cole Strange is going to be at guard. I think he was signed as a depth piece, to be honest with you. I don't think as a starter. I think we addressed that in the draft because guard is a need. Or an offensive player on the line is going to be, but I don't know when I saw Trevor Penning flash across my phone, I'm like, what the? I mean, the guy was a first-round pick, but as Pop the Guru would say to me, Lee, he is not a starting guard, and I know that. And we retained him, I think, as a depth piece. Same, I think, as Cole Strange as a depth piece, and then bringing back Trey Pipkins. I know Ty Mayberry. And when I texted him, he said, Lee, it better be an offensive line. I'm like, no, it's Trey Pipkins. He goes, what the hell is going on? I said, I don't know. I think that's just all Strange, Penning, and Trey Pipkins are all depth pieces. Something the Chargers last year didn't have was the depth piece. But, I mean, last season the Chargers were dealt with injuries and inconsistent protection across the interior offensive line. Now, that was horrible last year. And that was a big, and I would say it every single week. Protection was never there for Justin Herbert. And the kid got hit. Guy got hurt all the time. Not hurt, but he got hit all the time. And that was really, injuries should be much. Yeah. Peacock, knock on wood, the last three to 4 years has been injuries. And hopefully we can do that. But, that offensive line. But Peacock, the Texans have fixed that offensive line for C.J. Stroud quite well. So kudos to y'all, man. Yeah, guards are always popping in this draft. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. But if you look at the tackles, the Chargers already have an elite foundation. We have Rashawn Slater on one side, then Joe Alt on the other, and they're both gonna be back healthy. And we saw what Joe Alt did last year when he was in the game. Justin Herbert really wasn't touched, and that is something we're gonna see this year. And now as he can stay healthy, I swear to God, I'm loving. We saw what Justin Herbert did without an offensive line. And now you get that Justin Herbert with an offensive line. It could be a game changer. And also in the Mike McDaniels offense. So, man, I'm really hyped for this offense. And I'm excited for it. I know a lot of people are too. But, I have to also mellow my expectations to it. We know what Miami did in 2023 with that offense. But you know what? This is the Chargers too. So it's as Keaton would say, the Chargers can charge it up. So even Herbert was in, broken hand. Yeah. And that's another thing with Justin Herbert's always dealt with injuries almost every single year of his career. And now to me, the last time I can remind in Herbert's career, he had an offensive line to protect him was his rookie year. That was the last time I looked all that he had an offensive line that could protect him. So this should be the difference. So he had it then. We saw what he did in his rookie year. He put up a lot of yards, and we haven't seen that Justin Herbert. And hopefully we see that this year. As I said, with Joe Alt and Slater back, that's a phenomenal tackle combination. Now the focus becomes solidifying the interior, and we have to solidify that. The big question is the offensive line. Is the offensive line actually better than last year? I say it's going to be because we're going to have Slater and all back healthy. Or does the team still need another interior lineman in the draft? Personally, I thought we would. That is going to be at 22. I feel that's probably what we do is interior lineman. I mean, I'll get to that a bit later, but that's what I do feel is a need in the first round. And there's plenty of people there at 22. So I'll get at that. Now, JD, you want to pull up that blocking tight end picture? All righty. So the blocking tight end. Now, the value of blocking tight end. And as I said, I'm not crapping all over Gadsden. This is just an addition to the team. Gadsden is our tight end 1. All right. But another quiet but important addition is the tight end. We added Charlie Kolar from the Ravens. For years, the Chargers offense lacked a true inline blocking tight end. Now, he's well known as a well-known blocking tight end in the NFL. Kolar helps fix that. I mean, his strengths include he set an edge in the run game, contributing in multiple tight end sets, and improving play action looks. So, as I said earlier, I feel the run game this year is going to be very important. I think we have a very good run game this year, hopefully. And Charlie Kolar is going to play it, and Ingold. They're all going to play a great addition into this offense this year. That signing may not sound like a flashy, but it's always the offensive becomes far more versatile and unpredictable also. And for the versatility, his versatility is a key to keeping the guessing. Now the notable departures for the Chargers was in free agency. Every team has a turnover. 2 players leaving the Chargers included can't pronounce Odidi Ogo, who went over to the Cowboys. I just gotta call him OG. How's that? Because I can't pronounce his name. He went over to Derek's Dallas Cowboys, and Jameer Slayer went over to the Miami Dolphins. I really thought they would bring back Slayer. He was a great. He actually, when Slater was hurt last year, he played left tackle. He did a decent job, I felt. But the Chargers, I guess, didn't match the offer, or they felt he didn't fit the scheme fit. But I wish Slayer all the best in Miami. He's going over to a team that's in the rebuild stage. But hey, good for him. I wish him nothing but the best. But thank you for what you did for the Chargers. The biggest impact here may be along the defensive line. Losing the interior depth should push the Chargers towards drafting a defensive tackle early. That's a possibility also, which let me lead this into our draft discussion a little later. But JD, you want to pull up that running back room picture? Blocking. I need the running back one, which should be 3 of them. There we go. Alrighty. So, as I mentioned earlier, the Chargers running back room, as it stands right now, another fascinating position group is the running back room for the Los Angeles Chargers this year. The Chargers now have a very balanced running back group. Amari and Hampton, he brings power and his physicality. Kamani Vidal provides vision and quickness. And Keaton Mitchell adds an explosive speed. So, I mean, together, they are a backfield that offers every different. Together, the 3 of them, different styles: power, agility, and speed. So if the Chargers commit to the run game the way it appears they will, this group could become one of the more exciting backfields in the AFC. So, and I know it, I've been putting together I'm going to wait till after the draft. I'm going to do a post-draft / fantasy show. So, and I'll break all that stuff down further down the road. That's after the draft, which will be in a month or so, about 34 days. But it would be nice having the Chargers having a running back, one of the best groups in the AFC. But then again, it's all about staying healthy, I feel. And it's something the Chargers always have a problem doing, is staying healthy. So if we can stay healthy, this would be nice. But, and what Peacock says, even Herbert, yeah, he was. And you know what, man? I don't want to see these injuries. I mean, I did see that, you know, and I was like, and I was tomorrow's that flag football game, and I did see what's his name? Derwin James got hurt. He pulled out of the flag football game tomorrow and was replaced by, I think, Minnesota. I think it's one of the Minnesota Vikings players. I think Harrison Smith, I believe, replaced him. I don't know the kind of injury, but I'm like, oh my God, that's just not a sign, is it? I'm like, nah, I hope not, but no, that kind of sucks. But JD, you want to pull up the tight end room picture? Yeah, alrighty. So now the tight end room. The tight end group is another position that has quietly improved. The pieces include Aronde Gadsden II. He's a great receiving tight end, big slot, pause. Charlie Kolar, hybrid blocking and receiving tight end. And you got Alex Ingold, who's going to be an H-back and a lead blocker. Now, all these additions, I feel, were made in the Mike McDaniel's offense. I know I've mentioned it many times because I think he's just here for 1 year. But we're going to see what these additions add to the run game. Now, Alex Ingold was a great blocker in Miami. We saw what he did for A-Chain. And if he can do that for Gadsden, Kolar, all these things are going to what Mike McDaniel wants for his offense. So we're looking at it. But there is still one missing piece. And that's that true in line is a wide tight end. And they brought back Tucker Fisk. It's why bringing back Tucker Fisk makes a lot of sense too. But I wasn't really a fan of him. That's a type of player that is critical in the outside zone run scheme that Mike McDaniels brings back. But I have a funny feeling Darren Waller is also out there. He had a nice little fun time in the Mike McDaniel system down in Miami. Do we bring him as a third tight end? Now, there's options. I know I mentioned Dallas Goedert in the last show. He was re-signed by Philadelphia for a year. Rumors, yeah. What's up, Cap? Thanks for joining. Rumors have it in mind that I know. I saw that mentioned on the show this morning that A-Chain's not being traded. He's as they say, untouchable or not being traded. But they said that about Jalen Waddle. So, Cap, you can say that, but about almost a month ago, I reported and they said, well, no, Waddle's being traded or A-Chain, but there goes Waddle. Yeah, and I'll get to that a bit later too, you know. But you give Justin Herbert protection. If there's one message the Chargers front office should remember, it's simple as protect Justin Herbert. That's all you got to do. As I said earlier, since his rookie season in 2020, the offensive line in front of him has been inconsistent due to injuries and roster turnover. Yet despite that, Herbert still has played at an elite level. Imagine what happens when he constantly has a clean pocket. I don't want to imagine that, but I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. When Herbert has time, his arm talent, decision-making, and downfield accuracy make him one of the best quarterbacks in football and in the league. But that's when you have a clean pocket. So if the Chargers give him the protection he deserves, the offense can reach an entirely different level. I feel that's capable, but that's entirely on the health of the offensive line. And seriously, if we had that, it's going to be a beautiful thing to see what he does. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we add in the draft and stuff like that. But now that I mentioned the draft, what's this? It says Jordan Brooks is getting. I don't know, Cap. I saw that thing about Jordan Brooks getting traded Monday or to Seattle or Dallas. I mentioned that on the show, but I mean, I'm here in DFW and I've seen nothing of that. I saw the little blurb early this morning while we were on Wake Your Game Up, and I mentioned that to Derek. But we shall see what. I mean, I don't know. I truthfully don't know what's going to happen there. I don't follow the Cowboys, but I did see that blurb for the show this morning. But, I mean, now, JD, you want to pull up that draft watch? All righty. So, we know the draft will be here in about 34 days. All right. So, There are three. I think there's like three players that I've been really looking at. One of the names is Spencer Fano from Utah. So he's an interesting draft prospect is Spencer Fano from Utah. Some of the teams believe he may project as a guard in the NFL because of his arm length concerns. I saw that, and they did also say that his measurements at the combine were kind of wrong from his pro day. So we shall see. But many think he can be a zone, be very good, but in a run zone blocking scheme, he could be a fantastic fit. His strengths include elite movement skills, quick processing, power and leverage, and strong agility, something we could use. If he falls in the 20s, the Chargers might strongly consider him. But I got three options. There's Spencer Fano, and there's also Peter Woods from Clemson. Now, that's one name that continues to appear in mock drafts for the Chargers, is Peter Woods from Clemson. If the Chargers select him at 2022, it would make a lot of sense. Wood is viewed as a high upside, 3-technique defensive tackle with the ability to disrupt plays from the inside. His strengths include explosive. He's an amazing explosive first step. I was watching some video on him yesterday. And then he's an interior power, he's very big. Paul's ability to collapse the pocket is one of his best agilities in college. And he's a backfield disruption, which we would use. And interior pressure is extremely valuable in today's NFL also. So, edge rushers usually get the headlines, but the defensive tackles who can generate pressure inside can completely change a defense. If Woods reaches his ceiling, he could become the type of player scouts call an interior havoc wrecker. Hey, I would love a havoc wrecker on our defensive line. That would be nice. Now, the Chargers right now hold 5 picks in this draft. We hold the 22nd first in the first round, 55 in the second, 86 in the third. In the fourth round, we have the 123rd pick. And the sixth, we have the 204. We did give up that 5th round pick for Owe. So we have to make these 5 picks we have this year. We have to hit on all these picks. Now, if you ask me what I would like to go all defensive on this draft. Maybe that's what I would like, is to basically protect Justin Herbert. We have money in the cap. If we want to make an addition to the offense, we can do that. But I would like to go defense all in this draft and just address not the hypothetical needs, but the needs I know the Chargers need. And that's protecting Justin Herbert. Protect, and I'll say it again. It's about protecting your investment and protecting Justin Herbert. And if you do that, wonderful things can happen. Now, shout out to my good brother Bakes, my friend James. And also, I want to thank connected with a Kansas City Chiefs fan over on TikTok. And he invited me onto his podcast this coming season. I'm looking forward to it. And his YouTube channel is a Chief podcast. And we just connected today. So I'm probably this coming season will have him on this show, and I'll probably be gone over there. Now, I know I have a lot of hatred for the Kansas City Chiefs. But you know what? That's our rival. But you know what? I can put the hatred aside, because you know what? He's going to come on my show. I'm going to be respectful, just as I respect that on my show. But I'm looking forward to that this coming year. I have my other friend James, who's a Chiefs fan, but that's back and forth banter between friends. But this is a person that has their own podcast, and I want to respect them just as much as I want to be respected in return also. But hey, we're rivals, so I'm going to do my best. And that's all I can say. I can't promise. I'm going to do my best. What's up, Bakes? Shout out to my friend Bakes. Now, hey, your Las Vegas Raiders look good, homie. That's all I'm going to say. Now, to that next one, while Bakes is here, I'm going to call this one the AFC West breakdown. Okay, JD, you want to pull up that picture there? AFC West breakdown? All righty. Now, how I have these positioned. Bakes, this is nothing against you, man. This is just where I look at it right now. Okay? That's what I see the standings possibly be. Now, that could all change. I'm not saying the Raiders look a lot better than they were last year. I see the Raiders as a 6, maybe a 7-win team this year. And we saw what happened in the AFC West. Justin Fields just joined the Chiefs. So, I mean, all right. The division just leveled up, I feel. And that's what I'm going to call this section. The AFC free agency and trade breakdown. The division just leveled up. Now, let's zoom out there and look at the entire division because this is where it gets really interesting. The AFC West didn't just improve this season. It evolved. This might be the most complete division. Complete. The division has been from top to bottom in years. And I personally think that there's been additions from the Raiders, from the Chiefs, and from the Broncos. And we know the Broncos made a big splash a few days this week. Let me just break it down team by team. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're still a standard. They're still dangerous. But they may be minus Mahomes. We don't know. But they just added Justin. I'm on a green field. See how he does. Who knows? If Mahomes is ready for week 1, they say he should be. But, hey, are the Chiefs going to play it safe? They may play it safe by bringing in Justin Fields. All right. The Chiefs are still a team everyone is chasing. Don't get me wrong. They have rings. They've shown they're the standard in the division. But they weren't the standard last year. So we shall see. But do I expect another down year from the Chiefs? I expect a mediocre year from the Chiefs this year. That's what I'm expecting. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I haven't followed what the Chiefs have done, but I feel that they're going to be mediocre this year. I mean, they're up and down, but we know it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, what makes Kansas City so dangerous is not just star power. It's consistency. Year in, year out, they're in the playoffs. Yes, they weren't last year, but their consistency year in of being a powerhouse is always there. They continue to reload instead of rebuild. They had smart system fitting players. They did that. They got what? They had a K9 at running back. They had pieces here and there, but they kept their offensive identity intact also. Even when they don't make splashy moves, the Kansas City Chiefs still stay efficient, and that's why they can be scary at times. And as I said, I feel they're going to be mediocre this year. Do I think they're going to be the team we always see? They can be. I mean, but we don't know the status of Mahomes. We don't know. We still don't know if Rashee Rice, his debacle, if he's facing any kind of punishment. We don't know about that. So a lot of things the Chiefs are up in the air. It's like, we'll wait till the season. I mean, we haven't hit the draft yet, but who knows? They could hand down a punishment to Rice, but we don't know. I call him the off-field. He never can stay on the field. He can, as I said, availability for my Chargers. Now there's availability for the Chiefs. Is he available? Yes, but his off-field availability is not that great. So he seems to have more of an off-field distraction than a big distraction on the field. So hey, that's why I call them the Kansas City Chiefs or the Chiefs. But hey, shout out. But I'm gonna try to get better. Like I'm just being respectful to my fan base and all that stuff. But hey, I can give it, but I also have to learn to take it too. So that's something I'm trying to improve on. Now, let me get down to, this is the Chiefs. All right. Now, as for the Denver Broncos, they went all in, I feel, this week. They went out. They had a trade with Miami. They got Jalen Waddle for a first rounder. First, third, and a fourth Miami got. Now, hey, do I think they gave up a little too much? Yeah, I did. But, hey, now they got Bo Nix, a weapon, but now can Bo Nix throw the ball? We shall see. Now, as for them, they're aggressive. They went all in. They spent out a first round, a third, and a fourth. Now, let's talk about the biggest storylines in the division. The Broncos made a statement with the Waddle trade, as I said. This is a massive move for Denver. Waddle instantly gives the Broncos elite speed, a true wide receiver one presence, and a game-breaking ability to break out. I mean, and more importantly, he changes how defenses have to play Denver. I mean, they didn't really. Well, they had Cortland Sutton. Now, does that mean Cortland Sutton's the odd man out in Denver, or is he just Waddle's the man? It looks like Waddle is the. I mean, if you put that much draft capital down, obviously Waddle is the man, and we're in there. I mean, we're not just waiting. We're, it's Denver showing, hey, they want to compete. They were a game away from going to the Super Bowl last year, so they feel Waddle may be the missing piece. But I don't know. I'm not sold on. I'm not a huge Bo Nix fan. I think he's an. I'm not going to say an average quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, but hey, we shall see. I mean, I probably my hatred for the Denver Broncos, but hey, that's just me. But that now let me get to bake. Let's see. Jaggets just signed Jake Bumble. Hey, thanks, Pika. Hey, I know. But and let me get to Las Vegas Raiders. They're building an identity. The Raiders might not be grabbing all the headlines, but they're quietly made moves that matter this offseason. I won't lie. Yeah, that some of these moves have been very impressive. Nakobe Dean, Tyler Lindenbaum. That's going to be a hell of a center with a brand new rookie quarterback growing with a rookie quarterback. It's going to be great. So, and then there's a lot of additions they made on that offensive line, the Raiders. I haven't studied the whole thing, what they've done, but they added quite a bit of players this year. And they don't have mess with exactly. I mean, we shall see what happens, Peacock, on this one. And all these other guys that can't get it done. Exactly. You hit the point. They felt that the guys that they have were not doing the job. So, hey, let's go out and spend that draft capital on Waddle. Yeah, but giving up a first, third, and a fourth. But we shall see it all. Now I was saying to Ty Mayberry, and this was one thing. Jalen Waddle has now going from South Beach, warm weather climate. Now he's going to cold weather. I mean, he's only going to be there for 8 games in the cold weather. But hey, I'm not saying it's going to be a change. But that's why they paid him this good money for us. But good for him. But I mean, let me get back to the Raiders. Their focus this year has been clear: the physicality, defensive toughness, and offensive balance. Now they added a few players on offense, but I feel that in the draft, this is when the Raiders are going to do. I mean, the Raiders are trying to build a team that can run the ball. Now I feel, hey, Alvin Gentry is to the moon and back this year in fantasy. What they've done for that offensive line is great. I think we'll have a big year from Alvin year 2. So, hey, shout out to Bakes. That's going to be an interesting offense this year for fantasy football. They're going to run the football, control the clock, and compete in close games this year. I feel the Raiders have a very competitive team compared to last year, but they had no choice. But, we're going to see what they're bringing. They're going to bring in Pop. I think it's going to be Mendoza. All signs are pointing that Mendoza is the pick for the Raiders. So, and this division is loaded with offensive explosive weapons. I mean, they have Brock Bowers over there. They have Genty. But really, the wide receivers really doesn't really stand out to me. That's the only thing. That's where I feel the Raiders in this draft are possibly going to go wide receivers in this draft. Maybe get a couple. But they really didn't really sign anyone that stood out that I thought they would get like a wide with all the money they had is, yeah, Peacock, you hit the nail on the head right there. And I said to Ty on the phone, I said, is Waddle going to be able to handle this cold weather? Yeah, he is brittle, but you know what? We shall see. Going from nice sunny weather in California and the humidity there to nice cold weather and snow in Denver. I mean, the AFC West, it's gonna be a challenge this year. I think further down after the draft, I'll get to where I think is all that kind of stuff. But right now, until we get the draft out of the way, we get the schedule out. Now we can talk about that. But no, I think the AFC West is a very well balanced division in football. I think it has to be one of the top 3 divisions in football going into next season before the season starts, as it looks on paper right now. But that's just looking on paper right now also. Now, I know I've talked about all, and I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do think what the Raiders have done. Shout out to Bakes. They look good. Offensive line is fixed. Offensive line for the Raiders last year was horrible, just like the Chargers last year. And I told Bakes, man, there's players that I like. Oh yeah, I like my Raiders. Yeah, but the offensive line, the Raiders had to fix that offensive line, especially bringing in a rookie quarterback. But as you look at it, all these teams are bringing a rookie. They can reset their thing. They don't have to go out and spend money on a quarterback. So the Raiders, the next 4 years, will have a rookie deal. So they'll be able to build around Mendoza on that rookie contract. So the Raiders can only get better every single year, having these young players. But they did spend quite a bit of money. I ain't gonna lie. So, but they'll figure this. Now, as for my Chargers, the last Chargers have been smart, system-driven built. I mean, that's in this new regime. That's how we're built. And as I said earlier, we like it. Everyone loves these splashy signings, but have we had a splashy signing? No, we haven't. And I think it's just more building the scheme fit for this year for the McDaniel offense. Is getting the players. I know it's, as I said at the last show, it's like shopping at a thrift store to Neiman Marcus. Most these teams are going out spending on high-priced free agents. We're not. We're getting these small, short contracts for bargain prices for cheap. But I know a lot of Chargers fans are kind of pissed off about that because we're not spending the money. And I remember saying it weeks ago, it's about this offseason was about protecting Justin Herbert. Now, yes, we haven't gone out and made these big splashes, but also remember, we're having Joe Alt back and Rashawn Slater back. So that's another to pull back a little bit, pause. And, but as I said, most of our signings have been scheme fit, physical identity, but what they're building is a stronger run game, a better offensive line, and a more versatile on offense. And that goal is to clear, and that's to take the pressure off Justin Herbert. So we shall see. I mean, because this offense becomes more balanced and more efficient instead of a one-dimensional. The last 2 years was a one-dimensional. As I said, the Greg Roman offense was one-dimensional. It was run the ball, pause. But now with the Mike McDaniel offense, we're going to throw the ball a lot more. We're going to see the Justin Herbert. Hopefully we see the Justin Herbert we had this rookie year. And that's what as a Chargers fan, that's what I'm hoping for. I want to see the more explosive Justin Herbert with the protection that he has, with a clean pocket. What he can do in this offense, it's going to be a wonderful thing when you see that ball hum around. Hey, but I'm just hoping, with throwing that ball around come the interceptions. Hey, now 2 years ago, Justin Herbert had 3 interceptions. Last year, I think he was up to 11. Yeah, that was a big jump. So hopefully, let's just not get back to that again. Let's just drop back down that number. I mean, as I said, it's not about the big splashy headlines. It's about sustainability. And hopefully what we're doing is going in the right direction. And now I feel the AFC West is now a must watch football division. I mean, there's other competitive divisions, don't get me wrong, but I think with the additions of the Raiders have made to their offensive line, not to their offense, not really, but to their offensive line, just as the Texans have made, shout out to Peacock, man, they fixed their, I mean, I remember telling him it was Peacock, Bakes, and I said, man, it was the Texans, the Raiders, and the Chargers, all three in free agent had to fix their offensive line. The Texans fixed theirs. The Raiders fixed theirs. Have the Chargers fixed theirs? I'm not going to say it's all fully fixed because we do have Rashawn Slater and Alt back. So that's the reason why we did not make those huge splash additions. But who knows what the rest of – are we going to sign someone? There's a couple players out there I do like, but do I see it? I mean, when you look at the division as a whole, here's what stands out. Every team has improved from free agency – or if trades such as like Miami and Denver. I mean, the Chiefs, stability, elite execution, as always. The Broncos, explosiveness, aggression, Waddle trade. The Waddle changes a lot of things. It changes a lot of things for the Broncos. And I ain't lie. But to me, as I said, I'm not a huge fan of Bo Nix. I don't know, mate. And I just not, maybe I did not, him not having the weapons last year, maybe we'll see a better version of Bo Nix, like how he can throw the ball, pause, and all that kind of stuff. So we shall see. Now the Raiders, their free agency, they said their identity to me was a physical identity and a toughness. And that's Raider football. We know that from past regimes. They like like physical teams. And the Raiders are building a physical, tough team. Hey, shout out to Bates. Shout out to Timmy. Hey, those are my friends that are Raider fans. Hey, I'll be hearing from them all year long, and I look forward to it. So it could be a fun year. I'm not Brandon Peacock, Brendan Smith, Wyatt Teller. Yeah, y'all, Peacock. You guys said it. As I said, Peacock, I'm not going to lie. I'm very impressed. As you always told me, we have to fix the offensive line. Y'all did. Congratulations, man. And now, as I said, we fixed that offensive line also. Imagine, as I said, I imagine what Justin Herbert can do with a healthy offensive line. And it's just now C.J. Stroud. We know what he can do. C.J. Stroud with a healthy offensive line and an offensive line now, it only looks good for both of our teams, So, hey, shout out to Peacock's team, the Texans. Hey, they've been a nemesis the past couple of years for us. So, hey, shout out to neonpeacockmerch.com. Yeah, it took 3 years, Peacock, yes, but you now have it after 3 years. So now you got to see what C.J. Stroud can do with that offensive line. Just like I can't wait to see this year what Herbert does with Slater and Altback. And then whatever additions we make in the draft and in possibly the rest of the free agency, And this is what's going to make this division fun this year. I mean, there's no single blueprint. Every team is stacking the division with a different angle, different approach. But the big picture, when you step back and look at the Chargers offseason so far, the strategy became clear. Been about scheme, fit, and not a big free agency signing or spending big money. I look at it this way. To me, the Chargers offseason is incomplete as of now. I'm going to say this right now. Am I impressed? I'm not going to say I'm fully impressed because I know, like all Chargers are fans, wanting the biggest prize. I remember weeks ago I said I wanted Lindenbaum. But, man, when I saw that price tag, I'm kind of glad. We had a lot more needs that had to be met before you can get that. So right now you can have a high wish list. Of course, we all have a wish list for our teams. But you know what? You have to look at the big picture. And that's what I had to look at what I wanted. And, as I said that on the show. But now the more I looked at it, it was more of meeting needs. But I would like another X receiver. But also Juwanna Jennings. The Chargers are also very interested in Juwanna Jennings from the 49ers. So that would be an interesting piece. But to me, if you add Jennings, you really don't need Keenan Allen. That's how I look at it. But also, I said earlier today, I do want to see a lot more from KLS and Trey Harris. So you can have, as I said, you can want, but are they really needs? But I do feel an X receiver was needed in free agency. That's what I thought. But as I said, the team is building around a stronger run game, an improved offensive line play, veteran defensive leadership, explosive skill players. I do like the additions we have, though. I mean, the Chargers may not have made the biggest splash signings, but they appear focused on building a balanced roster. Now, to me, if you have a balanced roster and depth, it's going to be good. Something we haven't had in years is depth on our. And I tell Ty, we go back and forth, man, we don't have depth. They may not be great depth pieces, Trey Pickens or Trevor Penning. They're just a depth piece, but hey, their body, I guess. And sometimes that approach leads to most sustainable success. Vegas has set the bar as 10.5 wins for our Chargers wins this coming season. So we shall see. We have been to the playoffs the last 2 years, and both years we've been knocked out. To me, let's get there, and also let's just break that streak of, hey, not one and done. Let's just go into the playoffs and get that first win for Justin Herbert, and I want to just improve this year, get back to the playoffs, and get that monkey off Herbert's back of not succeeding in the playoffs. So because the AFC West this year, it's going to be, as I said earlier, it's going to be one of the most competitive divisions to watch all year in football. I feel it's gotten better. I mean, we're going to see when Mahomes comes back. Does he play week 1 or does he come back week 3 or 4? We don't know yet. But when Mahomes is healthy, he makes that division better. I mean, this is the first time we have seen Mahomes has been hurt this bad. But when Mahomes is healthy, when he plays, just the whole division itself is a great division because it's very competitive. It's 6 games, 2 against the Raiders, 2 against the Broncos, and 2 against the Chiefs. So, and last year we swept the Chiefs. So we shall see what this happens this year. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna try to be better. I don't care if you're rocking the red with the Chiefs, waving that orange for the donkey's asses, Denver Broncos, or dressed head to toe in black in Las Vegas Raiders gear. If you're just here repping the Chargers, just like myself. So whenever you're listening, wherever you listen from, wherever that's Kansas City, Denver, Vegas, LA, wherever, I'm a passionate football fan and a passionate Chargers fan. Yes, I do. I will spout off hate, but it's not me personally. It's just more, I'm a very passionate Chargers fan. I can't stand all my AFC West competitors. Simple as that. Just as we all like our teams. Yeah. Oh, Peacock, you ain't loving. I loved watching the Chiefs suck last year. Now, as I said earlier, I think the Chiefs are mediocre this year. I don't think they're going to be like the Chiefs that we know of. But then again, that's why they play the game. We shall see what happens. Do I think K9 is going to be the answer? He's a great addition to that run game. Yes, don't get me wrong. But you know what? If you're repping with the Chiefs, you're repping with the donkey's asses, or it's the Raiders, I don't really care. You're my rival. So it's always, for me, I'm always going to say something. But you know what? This year, I'm going to make an improvement. Yes, I can give it out, but I'm going to learn how to take it this year. I can handle it. It's just I have to just tone it back a little bit. I'm going to try toning it back. I can't promise. I'm going to try. But, today on today's show, I could have said Ray Turds, but I said Raiders. I didn't say donkey's asses as much. I said Broncos. I'm doing my best. I'm going to try. But, I really, it's been a fun episode. It's been a fun show. But to me, what the Chargers most impressed, is there anyone have any, what was the most impressive signing you felt was for the Chargers? To me, it was Tyler Biadasz. That was, to me, center was a need. I'm like, holy shit, we got Biadasz, who was the 3rd ranked center and out there. So I don't, yeah. Casey has a high draft pick also. Now, Peacock, they may have that draft. The question is, they have 2 picks this year in the 1st round. So does KC move up, or do they get to me, Mahomes is coming off a serious injury here. Do they go out and get protection for Mahomes, which he is going to need? Now, that run game this year for the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be huge. So that's why I see they went out and addressed their biggest need was the run game. So, we shall see what happens on this. It's going to be a fun year. I know I got several people on my hit list this year. I got about 5 teams. I just have to nail down pause for coming on the show this year. But I got pretty much, and I got to, as I said, the Chiefs podcast, he's going to come on. And I also have Peacock. I'm going to have Kidda. I'm going to have pretty much, hopefully, all these teams represented this year. But it's going to be kind of fun. But I also want to thank everyone for tuning in today for episode 25. And I hope to come back for episode 26. But and make sure to follow. If you're not subscribed, make sure to check out the Gen Wealth Also check on neonpeacockmerch.com. I also check on Peacock's has a great YouTube channel. He does great content for the Houston Texans. I highly recommend it. Even if you're not a fan of the Texans, Peacock puts out some of the best content out there for his team and for the Houston Texans. I mean, seriously, if you could nominate someone, Peacock, man, I'd nominate you for great Texans content. Your Houston Huddle, man, is fantastic. I'm going to say one thing right now. This show would not be possible if it wasn't for myself watching Miles or my buddy Peacock. What he does with the Houston Huddle, it kind of lit a fire under my ass, because I'm like, if he can do it for the Texans, I may not be able to do all the graphics and stuff like that, but you know what Peacock does in the videos that are absolutely fantastic. His show is fire. But, man, thank you for lighting that fire under me, because I was like, oh, man, I can chill with the guys on the podcast, but could I do it on my own? The more and more I watch Peacock, and I kind of picked his brain and go, yo, what do you do this? I got the drift. I'm like, maybe I could try it myself. And I have to thank you, Peacock. No, man, shout out. If it wasn't for you, man, I wouldn't be able to do this. But the more and more I watch you, you killed it every week. And I'm like, I would tell someone in this house, you know what, Peacock can do that. Sure the hell I can do it. It took me a while because I was afraid of seeing myself on camera. But then again, why should I be afraid of seeing myself on camera when I'm with y'all for wake your game up and all that stuff? So I shouldn't be that. So it's more of growing a sack, to get over that hype of, oh, it's just me on the camera. But no, it's not. It's just more of seeing myself. But I thank you, Peacock, because you're the one that the more and more I watched and what you did, and I asked you some questions, I said, you know, I can do that. It's just more of mind over matter. Can I do it? Yeah, I can do anything I put my mind to. It's just more of I had to get the hiccup. But I do thank you, Peacock. But I also want to thank everyone for tuning in today. And I appreciate taking your time out of your day. But on that note, also head on over to Peacock's website. Check out the stuff. He made this great Lightning Lad t-shirt for me last year that I sent him a design for. I swear to God, some of the best custom work I've ever seen done on t-shirts is done by Peacock. And he can't just do them on t-shirts, hoodies. He can do them on cups, pillows. He made an amazing pillow of my two dogs. And seriously, everyone says, wow, that's so cool. Where did you get that? I said, my buddy did that. And I said, he made that. I said, I just gave him a picture, and it's just not a thing he can do. As I said, there's not a thing, as Peacock said, there's not a thing I can't do. This man is like a Picasso. So head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. Check out everything. Take full advantage of the 40% sale, the $13.95 tees. And trust me, you'll find something. But just sign up for the emails, get notifications. You'll find something you'll love. And if not, if there's something that you do like, you can always message Peacock or reach out to me, and I can get you Peacock's information and how to contact him. And he can, if you have an idea, you want to put on a t-shirt, a mug, anything, Peacock can do it. And I align this. I mean, he's done our Las Vegas draft t-shirts. There's not a thing Peacock can't do. So now, Peacock, I appreciate you, man. But most, I appreciate the friendships I have and I built in the Gen Wealth. But most of all, we have a great brotherhood. And you know what? And we know we give each other shit every single day, but I love it. And I know I give you guys hell. But I said, you know what, man? I couldn't ask for a better band of brothers. So on that note, head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. And I'll see you all for episode 26. When I have enough content and all that kind of stuff, I'll put one together. And as I said, I'm going to put together a post-draft show. It's going to be half draft, half fantasy related after all the landing spots are done. But on that note, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Friday, a wonderful first day of spring. Have a blessed and safe weekend from myself. Hey, y'all, stay healthy, safe, and have a good one, and enjoy. And I'll see you next time. Bolt the fuck up. Let's go, Chargers. Let's go.
center. Game plan sick, talking under the weather. You know what we doing? I need that all expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. Proud money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Kerry. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything movie, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Baskin Robbins shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart scot-free. Lottie-dottie, he like to potty. Fuck with clothes, shoot, trolling 5 Molly. Heard I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips, moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over, made it far, cause I'm sharp, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke, then you can't talk. Play a never-ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all pussies getting scraped pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, pizza. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, ma, no hands, telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.